Good morrow and merry meet. My name is Audra, and you are in for a treat. With me, as usual, is my dear friend Emily.hanhan. Yes, I was doing a rave dance. You're welcome. I was reliving my rave days. It was a good time.
And you saw my full-on raver mode in Make Up Nonsense Bingo, so
I did.
I'm here for it.
Twas nice. Twas nice. So
you.
before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone here in the live chat. Appreciate you very much for being here. Also, Catherine, welcome. You're here at the beginning, so I know you were excited. So I just want to say hi. And then, oh, sorry, I just like ate this. It's kind of spicy, and I'm like,
The way he comes back out of the mouth.
I know. Like I started talking, I was like, "Oh, this is spicier than I had thought it was." But also, I do want to thank all of you who watch it on the replay. You are greatly appreciated, especially when you come back in and throw comments up. That is amazing. Appreciate you, lurkers. I appreciate very much my patrons, channel members, as Emily does theirs as well. Excuse me. And finalmente, a shout out to the mods out here doing the Lord's work.
All the love.
So much appreciation.
Also, shout out to everyone's patience while we had a week off thanks to Hurricane Grace.
Yes.
Well, I was like, why do I feel a little like I'm bad with routine anyway, but I'm like, why does this feel a little different? Not off, not bad, just a little different. And I was like, oh, because it's been 2 weeks.
It has. That's why I was like confused. I was like, what are the words that I say? Give me 1 second. I do. Bo has something I don't want him to have. I will be right back.
Oh, well, welcome everyone. Yes, I like how you put it, Allie. Welcome lurkers and replay. And I hope that ooh, hey Popskin, welcome back. It is a blessed night. It's Thursday night. We're back. I'm here with my friend. I'm here with a bunch of friends. Welcome everyone. Oh, thank you, Kim. Oh, welcome, Atlanta Banana Co. That's a great name, like Atlanta Banana.
I like it. Hi, welcome. I was afraid we were supposed to have a movie night tomorrow, and I still might go ahead and schedule it after I get off of here. I was concerned about work, so I wasn't sure if I could do it tomorrow. So we are having movie night tomorrow. FYI, if you are here in the chat and you're a patron or a member, movie night. We're watching Deep Blue Sea. Okay.
I love the little perks and things that we have going on. Like both as a member and as somebody that has a Patreon. So I'm so glad you're here, Kate. I love the timing. And yes, like we've had this topic in mind for a while.
It's been a while.
Lots of ideas, but then this one we had to put on hold for a little while, and I'm happy to be talking about like the good, the bad, and the ugly of social climbing.
Ooh, I took notes. Where are they?
Yes.
True ADHD fashion. I'm like, I took notes.
Notes are important. I was going to show you my notebook, but it is out reach of my short arms. I didn't have notes for tonight, but like I should have actually, because we talked enough where I was like, oh yeah, notes.
I took some as we were talking, but like, I just think it's funny. They're like, I have notes. I don't know where they are. I found them.
This is why I have the one notebook that I reference, and I only use the one until it's full. I mean, I still lose it, but like, yay!
My friend, so Vanessa, one of the members and whatnot, sent this to me, and it's been fantastic. I've been using it a lot. I don't know what I'm going to do when I run out of it because it's pretty good.
I feel like I was the gateway to writing things down for you.
I know it was really helpful, and also thank you everyone for the compliments on our looks.
Yes, thank you. Feeling fabulous.
Okay, I don't know why I'm like that. I'm like, I'm pretty.
I'm stretching into myself.
So, Akila, you actually helped to open this up pretty well. So here's the thing about social climbing. To get started, social climbing is just a fancy word for networking. We all already network at our jobs. It's the same thing,
I was gonna say,
just in the YouTube sphere.
Networking, that terrible word.
Yes.
That introverts hide from as an introvert that
Thank
got
you.
brainwashed into thinking that I needed to network.
To get ahead, you got to network. And I'm like,
connecting those dots about like
people.
Networking equals social climbing. I was like, oh, we have some things to talk about. Just connecting those dots.
Yeah, because I feel like social climbing gets a very bad rap because of the words social climbing. And I feel like we use it in social media, but in the regular everyday 9 to 5 world, it's just called networking.
And we
And
all do it.
yeah, everybody networks. It's part of the corporate grind, if you will. If you're in a job, literally social climbing in a lot of ways is no different than that. No different than you being nice to that one person that you don't particularly like all that much, but they're your gateway to like getting that step up to the next position. So you're like, yeah, Siobhan.
Yes. Or even if you are doing the like hustle culture, doing your own thing as a business owner, you connecting with other Etsy shop owners or other boutique owners or other, like that's also social climbing. If you're like, I make, accessories and I want to get into this fancy clothing shop because that's the same in my head. That is a very similar thing. It's just a way to grow your business or like increase your capital in a social sense. It's just that we're also in this like weird space of social media where we're not theoretically we're not producing a physical thing. And so I think that also makes it feel more like icky and more like negative feeling. Social climbing is getting an MRS degree at college. That was a very popular thing in the South. You go to college for the hunt for the ring, and that's the only reason you're really there.
And the thing is, social climbing and networking in and of itself isn't a bad thing because everybody either has to do it in some way, shape, or form, or we just do. Like that's just part of the neurotypical networking world, right? And getting to know each other and all of that, and expanding, or as Emily said, growing your business, right? But in the YouTube sphere, it can harm people, right? So one of the things that I think is good about social climbing is that it is mutually beneficial. And I think the thing is that sometimes people will often think that it's not mutually beneficial in the way that they think that it is, because in their minds they're like, oh, like for instance, if I were to do a collab with Jackie Aina, people would go, that's not mutually beneficial at all. Jackie Aina is huge, da, 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 da. But people often forget that like just because a creator is large doesn't mean everybody knows who they are.
Yeah.
There have been, go ahead.
I a little bit disagree in terms of like, I think there's a level of where it's beneficial. And then I think that there's a level of like where realistically it's not, but like, I love how Natalie worded like the gatekeeping and derogatory nature of social climbing, of how it's being worked because of the people trying to enter their sphere. And that's, I think, a big part of it. Like you collaborating with Jackie Aina, you are trying to enter a different sphere. Yeah. That's awesome. But also there's a lot of people, even if Jackie Aina is totally into it, totally here for it, going to do the collab, there's going to be a lot of people that are like, what is Audra doing in this space? Who invited this person? Even if Jackie Aina directly invited you. So like, I think that there is that level of people like wanting to keep the doors closed. Mm-hmm. They don't want to open the door and let other people in.
Yeah, because here's it. I will always say that the level to which it's mutually beneficial is definitely going to be different, but it's always going to be mutually beneficial. There's always going to be somebody who hasn't heard of the other, and it's going to, it may benefit one side more, right? So it would obviously benefit me significantly more to do a collab with Jackie Aina than it benefits her. But there would still be people who just showed up to Beauty YouTube, and maybe I'm one of the first people that they've ever seen. They didn't even know Jackie Aina existed. And then they find out through this collab that Jackie Aina exists. They go watch them. So like it can be mutually beneficial for both parties, howsoever. My problem with it, and this is like one of the biggest issues I have with social climbing, and I figured I'd go ahead and get into it in case we spend a ridiculous amount of time on it. My problem is this. If you want to use me to social climb, just say that. Please stop pretending to be my friend. You don't have to pretend to be my friend. If you want to do a business deal, just let me know it's a fucking business deal. Allow me to have a choice.
So
don't play frenzies.
This is the thing. This is the thing that I think, this is why I love that we tend to talk about things for a long time, or just the way it works out. Yeah, right. Deja called you Audra Turner earlier, and I was like, yes. But the thing is that we are both neurodivergent. Words are bad. Words are hard. But we have our things that we're bringing into the table, into life. And I think that the more you talk about these kinds of things and you realize how like neurotypical culture has created this like toxic thing where you have to be friends with everyone that you ever interact with.
Yeah.
And the problem is that, like, yeah, I think that when you are fake friends with someone, you are not able to like it's harder to set boundaries and expectations.
Yeah.
You know, when somebody is like, well, I'm your friend, and like, oh, but let's collab. Oh, but let's do this, but let's do that. But like, there's often a power imbalance at that. And you have, like, I think about it is if it's a bigger creator that's trying to buddy up to you, and then like 2 weeks into it, they're like, well, we should collab. And this is the idea I have. And you don't really have a lot of ability to put in your thoughts on it because you feel like, oh, they're gifting me this thing and they're my friend. And so anyway, but you had a lot more to say, but I was going to say the lack of boundaries that fake friendship creates in terms of using it as a business tool is very frustrating because it'd be so much better to just be like, okay, this is what I'm expecting out of this situation. What are you expecting? And then you can say, hey, this is what I need. How can we make it happen?
Thank you. Because like, here's the thing. First of all, I've been fixing my DMs for like a lot of this week. But if you slide into my DMs being like, hi, Audra, I watched your video. I really liked it. It was great. I swear to you, I'm literally sitting there like, what do you want? Like, there's no part of me that thinks that you're being friendly or any of that, especially if I've never really seen you in my DMs before. I've never seen you in a live stream. You haven't shown up to like anything. Like, and I'm just like, you're not in my comments. And suddenly you're in my Twitter DM. And I'm like, what do you want? Just tell me what you want. And this is why I think that the fake friendship is I think it's a stupid tool to use personally.
Yes.
I am ADHD and autistic, so that might be different. Maybe that might be part of the problem.
I was going to say, again, we have a different perspective on things compared to maybe other people. I have ADHD and it does change things, but like, honestly,
I don't like all that. I don't like, banana. I'm just going to pop that up right quick.
Well, but actually, that's a great point, Elena. I don't think about that as much. I
keep popping. I'm like, I would move it back so you could finish your thought here. Because
the point about like sometimes the beneficial part of a really big creator collaborating with somebody that's much smaller is the relatability factor that opens up. And I hadn't really factored that part in. But yeah, I think that the whole like everyone has to be your friend thing is really, really like toxic and harmful. And it's never going to work out well for you in any situation, in my opinion. People are not going to like you, and you should be able to not like other people.
Yeah. Like, I feel like the false friendship part of it is where the manipulation comes from. And I think to me, like, I feel like there's two types of social climbing. There's the one that is fully the negative connotation of like the MRS and like all of that and how they've really tried to turn it, and how I thought of it as like, this is social media and you are like using social media and socially climbing. That's my brain, because I am a literal person. Please don't come for me. Thank you. Have a good day. But so when I'm looking at it, I was just like, there's nothing inherently wrong with you wanting to have a business deal and you wanting to have like a business relationship. That's fine. Just let me know that it's business. I'm cool. I don't want you to pretend to be my friend and pretend that we're going to hang out and then like not talk, like, because here's the thing. If you're going to pretend to be my friend and then you get what you want out of it, and then let's say you need growth again and you're like, oh, it's been a minute and you haven't talked to me in 3 months, and then you show up again and be like, hey, Audra, how are you doing? Oh, I've been busy. What have you been up to? You want to collab again? That's the part where I'm like, I don't know why you did all this bullshit. We could have just been having like a business relationship and you could have been like, hey, so, I don't know how things are going for your channel. I know YouTube's been a little stagnant lately. Last time we collabed, I saw we got like these little bumps. So what do you think about collabing again? I'd be like, cool. Cause you're just being like a person.
Yeah.
Like a business person instead of pretending to be my friend.
Like, even if they were like, oh, I noticed on Twitter or a New Makeup Nonsense that you said you were going to buy this product and I'm going to buy it. And we have totally different skin tones. And I feel like we could both do a collab talking about this random thing.
Yeah.
Like there's ways to just like, there are ways to pop into people's lives in a business way that makes sense. And it's not rude or anything like that. Like, and working with friends is really tricky.
It is.
Rami Ramzilla said, don't mix business and pleasure. Like I have worked for friends and with friends, and I've had good experiences and I've also had bad experiences. And it's like, I have a friend that I went on their Twitch stream recently. We worked together, but like we're very, very much honest with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's that whole passive aggressive, petty, fake friends thing has always been like that. I've always felt that in office situations.
Yeah, it's so weird.
No one was my actual friend. And as soon as they left or I left, we never talked again. And I didn't enjoy talking to 99% of them anyway.
Thank you. I was like, we don't know. They're like, you gonna come to happy hour? I'm like, no, because it's going to be an hour where I'm going to be unhappy.
And here's the thing. Like, maybe it's because I knew that and I felt that even watching influencers, the LA scene, whatever, I understood that they probably weren't friends. Like in the height of like Dramageddon, like the Manny, the Gabriel, all of them.
Yeah.
I was like, y'all might be social friends. And I get that. There is the like, we're going to parties together, we're going out together, but you're not friends. At least that's how I viewed it. So when everything happened, like I have my issues with Manny, and this is not a moment to like redeem him. I'm not doing that. But when the social climbing was the main focus of why people were mad about it, I was like, y'all have completely missed the point. Like you have
like they were all fake friends. Like that was
all fake friends.
The only ones who were friends were Manny and Laura.
Fake friends. Like, if you work in a setting and you don't have the option to just be blunt and honest about like not wanting to have friendships, you have fake friends too. You are a fake friend too.
Yeah, because here's the thing. You can make friends. So, because I tend to reach out and collab with people that I genuinely enjoy their content and would potentially consider an actual friendship with them if that was offered, right? So I'm going to reach out to somebody that I like, I respect. I think that, like, I also think that we would vibe well. Like, there are creators that I like them, but I don't think we'll vibe. So, like, I would never, ever reach out to them for a collab because I'm like, we're not going to vibe. We are two different planes. That's fine. And that's cool. Like, I just don't think that we would ever be like, cool with each other. There's several creators where I could think of off the top of my head where I'd be like, where we would not be friends. I don't even know what we would talk about. Toast? I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. But like, but like with that being said, you also have to realize that it can yield friendships. Social climbing can yield friendships. You, by reaching out, by making those collab requests, by doing like trying to talk to somebody and all that, it can yield an actual friendship, which you need in this game.
That's the problem.
You need friends in this YouTube game. I cannot stress that enough. If you are a creator, you have to have friends in this game. If you don't have friends in this game and all you have are social climbing friends, it's going to be a rough road. It's going to be ugly.
I love Sophie Marie's like term artistic allies. Like how rather than looking at it like social climbing, like people that you care about their work, they care about you, even if you're not super, super close or not just like friends, because to me, that's also how you can build friendships. Like if I don't know if I'm going to vibe with a person, but I get their vision, I get what they're doing. Or maybe if I might not know the way to start a friendship with that person. But if I'm like, I get what you're doing and I want to know more about you, that to me is an artistic ally. I don't necessarily know if it's going to be a friendship. It might just be business. Yeah. And that's okay. But like being able to kind of just do that. But yeah, not having the friends is the problem because your social climbing allies are not going to stick by you, period. The point is that they are climbing. Yeah. And they definitely are not going to stick by you if you go through anything rocky on the internet or off.
Because like, here's the thing about your social climbing friends. Your social climbing friends will not be there for you when good things happen, right? Let's say you get a collab, your social climbing friends they're going to be the ones talking shit about you behind your back, guaranteed. They're going to be the ones talking smack about you and be like, because it's a competition. Like y'all are in competition. You're not actual friends. You don't actually celebrate one another's wins. And so once you start realizing that by doing this social climb maneuver that all you have around you are other people who social climb and like not a one of y'all are actually friends with each other, that's the shit that fucks you up. Like then you start getting real sad because getting a collab should be like something super exciting and fun.
You should be celebrating. You should have people that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like the people that you can tell like early on and then the friends that you can tell like as it gets closer, like
like when Teresa got her collab, it was like so exciting. You know, it was such a fun, exciting time to be there for and to be like, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this. It's so good. And we were all able to be like really excited for her and not have any of that like sense of competition because she's genuinely my friend. She's someone that I care about.
Genuinely want to see my friends win. And I think that there is a lot of like, and I've talked about like, I struggle with jealousy, but that doesn't hit for me because like some people will hey Gabby will like some people look at success as like a pie, and if somebody else gets a big slice that means it's less for you. And while I understand that when it comes to collabs, yes, if Lethal is collaborating with Teresa, that theoretically takes away my opportunity for a collab with him in the next 6 months, but also no, it doesn't. It doesn't work like that because if like a brand really wants to work with you, or if you really want to work with a brand and you have a vision, like it will happen in time. So I would never sit there and be like, oh, how dare my friend get a collaboration and take away opportunities for me? Like, no, that's not where my brain's at all. Whereas there are other people that I might see on the internet and be like, oh, you got a collaboration. Okay. And I'm just like, well, I'm going to keep my mouth shut because I have nothing good to say right now. But like when you have genuine friends, you don't have to work. Like you just have all of this good energy, whether it's a collab or like even when I did a video collab with Laura May Beauty for Grinchmas last year. I remember you were so excited for me when I told you, like even being able to celebrate
really one of
those.
the kindest people. She's like super nice.
Like she's a creator that inspires me, and it was an idea I was excited by, and like she gave it a shot, and like nobody has to do that. And so when you have friends that you can really celebrate with, it's and the other part of friendship in this community is it can also help you sniff out the social climbers.
Yes. Like the people who are like, because here's the thing, it took me a little bit because I've had a couple situations, especially here's a really big thing. If you are a creator, or even if you're somebody who watches, YouTube, or you're friends with creators, here's what I'm going to say. A lot of times you'll start out with a group of friends doing YouTube together, and that changes, right? Subscriber count changes. Somebody gets hired, somebody's not, all of that, right? You got to keep an eye out for those people who magically pop up out of the ether after like they surpassed you and like left you in the dust, and then something happened and you were able, like you just started doing really well, and then they're like zombies. They just come up out of the ground. They're like,
their hand is like,
it's been a minute since we've talked. Would you like a collab? Like,
I'm sorry, but like, oh yeah.
Hi, Leanne. Sparkle Crack Central. I love that. It says 11 minutes lagged. Networking while neurodivergent is hard enough without fake friendships. I appreciate it when people are honest about their motives because I know how to react and how not to. Exactly. And that's the thing. So I feel like this whole thing could be so much better if, like I said, people from the jump could quite literally just tell you, listen, I'm interested in a business relationship. Because first of all, I'm going to respect that you at least did that. And then two, I have the option as to whether or not that's what I want to do. Right. And as we move along, like I negotiate this thing, be like, okay, listen, since we're in a business relationship, if you get into some shit, please understand that I'm most likely not going to be like coming on your back if you fucked up. Like that's a you thing. That's for you and your circle of friends. I love that movie. And that's for them. But if it happened, and like if something happens and you've done something well or like good, I'll be there for you there. I'll be like, hey, what's up? Good job. But like that's the business arrangement I'm willing to have. I'm not gonna, fix that.
Yeah. Well, I also think about it in this way of like, okay, if somebody comes to you and they're like, oh, I really want to do a collab like next week. Can you do that? If you're my friend, if it feels like a fake friend or a friend, whatever, like it can be harder to be like, hey, I can't work with that timeline or whatever. But if we're a business relationship and you're coming to me, even if it's an idea that I'm not super into, if we have a business relationship, then I can be like, hey, this idea of yours is interesting, but I'm not quite sure if it's going to fit my channel as well as it will fit your channel. What about this idea? Like it just makes it more of a neutral playing ground for negotiation and actually getting what you want out of it. Because I think what can happen is that it can be easy to get manipulated by people. It can be easy to get manipulated into doing what they want because of whatever reason. If they're like, well, I really want to do a live stream, and you're like, I really don't want to have more live content on my channel right now. Or like, I really want to have a video on my channel as well as one on their channel. Like, I think that it just makes everything way easier to negotiate and actually have expectations and be able to step away when you need to.
Yeah, like, so for instance, like I would consider Abby Williamson at this point a good internet friend. Like not like a friend yet, because we don't really talk a lot outside of, like, but we do comment on each other's shit, right? So So that is somebody I would consider a good internet friend. So at this point, I can actually just like, for the most part, like just approach and say something. I still approach like the fucking weirdo I am. I still like kind of like sideways, like sidewinder, like a crab. And I'm like, I'm like fucking Zoidberg. Like, I feel like that's how I just show up. I'm like, hi, Abby. Like, but the first time we did a collab, like I didn't feel, like really comfortable. Like the first time I collab with people, I don't talk to you outside of this. That's how you'll know, because I always have like this kind of awkward intro in trying to introduce them. I'll be like, I'm doing this collab in conjunction with can't stop me now. Like I have a bunch of difficulties trying to figure out what to call them.
Whereas you could literally just say, hey, I'm doing a collab with emilyhanhan, and not have to put a pretty little word in front of it. Like you don't have to be like, they're my friend. Like I think if it was more like just business, you could just say this person and not have to like call them your friend or your internet friend or your blah, 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 whatever. Like it's not like you wouldn't have to like cushion it with all of this, because you're like, look, it's a good idea, that's why we're doing it.
Like y'all really just got to look into how my brain actually works when I'm like like that's really what happens in there. Like I'm just like, because I am not a particularly good liar. Yeah. And so I'm also like, I can't call him my friend because then I'm a friend.
That's why I don't need a name.
And so I sit there being like, what word do I use?
That's what I'm saying. They don't need a word.
Yeah, but like at the time, like that's how I would feel. And so I would like sit there struggling, being like, don't say anything stupid.
No, I'm sitting here being like, you don't need a word. And I'm like, but also I understand that. Like, yeah, like I don't think you, and I think that's the other thing, is that the way the internet perceives videos, I feel like if you're not like, I think a video like this kind of live stream I like doing, because it kind of sets a bit of a precedent where I'm like, look, if I do a collaboration and I'm not saying they're a friend, it just means that it's just a collaboration. It's just that, like it's setting a mood and a tone. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's saying like, hey, you might see something and be like, wow, that's a social climbing move. Okay, it is. And I'm not pretending they're my friend. I'm not like gilding the lily. It's just a good setup. Like that's what it is. And so that's why I like talking about this, because moving forward, also I can feel less weird myself about being like, maybe I could reach out to somebody that I'm not already friendly with and feel more confident about, just straightforward, get to the point.
Yeah, because like here's the thing. When you're faking your friendship to climb to the top or whatever it is, because like not even the friendship aspect of it, a large part of the social climbing, especially now because of what's happened in the past, which we're not going to keep dredging, but because of what's happened now, viewers are more savvy. We're not as eager to like hop over and immediately subscribe, because we saw what happened when we thought everybody was friends and we're like, oh, just kidding. So now people want to kind of, they'll sidle over when they want to. Like it may take 2 or 3 different times for you to like be mentioned by that creator. They see you in their mentions, or they see that you tweeting at them, see you in each other's comments. Like they see things like that, and then they're like, maybe I'll go over there. And they go over there, they either like you or you don't like you. They don't like you, right? But the problem with just straight up social climbing and just like the business at end of the deal and having like no actual friendship, I will say, is that you may get all the subs in the world, but it can really harm your viewership if the people don't actually like you.
Yes.
So
I like what Deja said about drag queens, because I also think that the more that we can, I'm going to go back to that point, but I just think the more that we can just show that this industry is an actual industry, it's a business, we deserve to get paid, we deserve all of the work that we do. Like that to me is also the point of eliminating the fake friend bullshit. I don't want to make it seem like a sorority or fraternity. It's business.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And enough people kind of like put that part of this YouTube social media influencer creator whatever world down, and they try to pretend like we don't deserve to get paid for our work. And so part of like this kind of shift, how I'm thinking about it in my head, also does that in the way that like drag queens, it's a business. But damn it, I was like, I'm gonna go back to your point. You had a really good point about the views and the engagement. Like,
yes,
because you can see if you see somebody and their subscriber count is doing well, but then the views they get in a video are very, very low. That's not good for your channel. Your subscribers are not giving you AdSense. YouTube's algorithm is not looking at your subscribers. They're looking at your engagement.
Yes.
And your for each video.
Yeah. So like, case in point, you don't want to get to 20K subscribers by social climbing, but yet you cannot get 1K views. Yes. That will really hurt you in the long run. Because you're going to have difficulty trying to get that view up. But my preference in growth is that like the two things stay steady together. Like I don't want like one of those big explosions. I know that there are so many people who would like love for a huge explosion and for like bunches of people to suddenly, no, thank you. If y'all have even like, if my TikToks, if any one of them like randomly blows up, I just stop doing TikToks for almost a week because I'm like, it blew up. That's weird. So like, I don't know what I would do if my channel just exploded on me. I'd be
honest. Like growth is attractive. Growth is sexy as fuck. Yeah. So like I'm over here like, no, I still kind of wouldn't mind. I wouldn't turn that down. Okay. I'm going to be honest. I wouldn't turn that down. I'd probably freak out for another month, but I wouldn't turn it down. But I also know that that's like the balance of it. It's like, I wouldn't want that multiple times in a row without being able to establish myself in between them, because a spike and then having a couple of months or whatever to bring these subscribers back in, to view your videos regularly, to keep that, to pull the engagement up to match your subscriber number now, like that to me, it's like, okay, that would be nice. And then maybe in 6 months you get another, thing. But also steady growth is fantastic. And I'm not, like that's ideal. But I think that it can be hard for people to hear like, oh, you don't really want a spike in your channel. But I agree that in general, you don't want it be like if you're not keeping up with expectations that were set by you or by the person that you collaborated with.
So like Cecily had a question, which was, do either of you or any of you have advice for when you are added to a collab without being asked? I will block everybody if you do that. That's not okay. Yeah. I will actually just literally block you. Be like, I'm sorry, I didn't ask.
Like group collab? Yeah, no. If it's a group chat thing on Instagram, like about a collab, nope, you're gonna get out of my DMs.
And then it's, how do you turn down a collab tactfully? I don't have tact, but I'm trying to be honest. I'm like, I don't have tact, but I typically just like, if I don't, for a lot of times, it depends on if I'm talking to them already. Like if I just see somebody in my DMs that I don't know, like a lot of times I won't even look at it. But if somebody's asking, but I just don't want to, I normally say like, yeah, I'm not into it. Thank you though. Like, I know it's not nice, but like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I don't have time for that. Like, cause that's usually the thing, is a lot of times I just don't have time between New Makeup Nonsense and our weekly live. I have a lot of content that I've planned out in ahead of time.
You're prioritizing content you're excited about.
Yeah.
Is what you're doing. And so saying you don't have time is correct. I think it depends. If this is a friend that I feel comfortable with, I can just say, I don't have time, or like, or I don't know if this concept is quite right for me. If it's a weird, like, like if there's a social climby kind of whatever for me, that can be tricky. Like if I'm like, oh, this could be good for me, but I don't really want to do it, or I don't really like the idea, then just, yeah, I mean, I think saying that's honest, saying I don't have time. I do agree. If I don't recognize the name, I'm probably not seeing your DM anymore. Like,
yeah,
I don't.
I had mine shut down pretty quick.
It's a lot, and I'm not saying my Instagram is not huge, but it's just a lot. It's just a lot to deal with.
It's because of stories. To be honest, a lot of it is because of stories. So,
and see, I don't get that as much for me, like in terms of that, but it's just, I'm one of those people that like, I will distract my day away. I will be on my phone. I will be on different way. I will fuck my day away. I will just split it, like just get rid of it. And so I've had to try to limit how much I'm checking things. But also, please turn down collabs you do not want.
Please. If you don't want to do it, just turn it down.
Like,
I'd rather somebody, like, if I approach somebody and I was like, hey, can we do a collab? And like, because one of the things I hate most is when people just don't answer. Like, you ask them and then they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see this. And you're like, okay, well, did you want to? And then they just like don't answer. And I'm like, yes or no. But I don't know if you understand this, but if
Audra,
I don't know you
don't open unknown DMs.
Well, no, but I'm talking about like creator to creator, like known creators.
Okay.
And you follow each other. Creators that you know each other and you follow each other. There's nothing more irritating than that. I'm like, listen, here's the thing. I just need you to understand that you can't hurt my feelings because I don't fucking know you. Only people who know me can hurt my feelings. So you can literally just be like, no, thank you. I don't like doing live streams, or no, I'm not good at da 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 da. And I'm like, cool. But when you don't answer, you're lucky that I've learned to control that impulse that makes me go, hello, I am still looking for an answer. Will you please answer? Yes or no? Will you let me know?
To not answer me that I had previously collaborated with, and I was just like, I'm not gonna take this personally. I'm just gonna, even though they fall into all the categories you were saying, I was like, I'm not going to poke, like, I'm not gonna bug them. But like, I just think, so here's the thing. It's that, hello, thank you. Don't do a collab you're truly, truly interested in, and don't do it with somebody you're not truly, truly into, because
facts.
It's just not worth it. It's really not. And saying, yeah, like, thanks for offering, I'm gonna have to decline. Thanks for offering, I just don't have time right now. Or, even saying, hey, thanks for offering, that concept doesn't really, what am I trying to say? It doesn't really fit with my channel.
Yeah. Whatever. Because the thing is, when I reach out to people, my expectation is that they're all going to say no. So I'm never worried about it. Like, I'm worried that not even worried. I think everyone's going to say no. So I'm more surprised by a yes. And I think that the thing about social climbing is, like, when people reach out, they don't, you have to consider the creator that you're reaching out to. And I'm not talking about the size of the creator. I'm actually talking about how, like, often that they post and all of these things. You kind of have to, like, think about, like, is this their actual job? Like, is YouTube their job? Because if it is, I would expect a response back within 24 to 48 hours. But if it's not, it might be a while. Like, if they have another job, like another 9-to-5 job that they use to, like, do the majority of the funding for their channel, don't get discouraged if you don't hear back from them for a little bit, because a lot of people are working, like, at work. And I also am one of those people who sometimes I forget that my DMs exist on occasion.
So this is what I was going to say. I don't ever expect a response back. It pisses me off. It makes me mad that I don't. But, like, I don't, because I also know that I do that. I respond in my head, and then I never think about it again. And then somebody might be like, hey, what about this thing? And I'm like, I never respond. Okay, great. Awesome. But, like, I also understand the, like, ghosty nature of the world right now. And I don't necessarily know if everyone I don't always feel like I'm deserved a response, I guess is what I'm saying. So I think that, like, And I think that can also, it can, hello everyone. Hello, I feel like, oh,
And I was like, showing up, like, hi.
I think the thing is that I think it's also hard as like, I can imagine as a creator, if I had another creator in my DMs that I had not been friendly with before or hadn't collaborated with before, it might take me a long time to be open to the idea of collaborating with them.
Yeah.
And like, I love the concept of keeping it more business, but I think that a lot of people, maybe not a lot of people, I think some people still don't necessarily agree with that, or they're not willing to take the risk. They're like,
yeah,
I'm just going to collaborate with people that I'm friends with.
mm-hmm.
I know what I'm getting into. I know what to expect. So I think that can be the hard part, is that like sometimes even just making the effort of going into someone's DMs can just make you look like a social climber in all of these, in all of the negative ways.
Yeah, because like here's the thing about me. If we even travel in the same circles, if something happens and I feel like I'm a reach out person, I don't know how to explain it. I will get a peculiar sensation and feel like I just need to reach out and be like, hey, keep your head up. Everything's fine. Like
Audra,
that kind
you
of
don't have to explain it. You just have a really good intuition and you know shit. That's the explanation. That's literally always the explanation. I'm telling you that because it is.
I told you to stop being so vigorous. I told you. So sorry. This is like an everyday occurrence. That's what I've been looking over at this whole time. It's like looking over, he's like gets too vigorous with his bath, and then he ends up doing that. And I kept trying to get him to stop. Anyway, so sorry. But like not me like yelling at that's what you get for being vigorous. Like but I think that like, that's who I am as a person. I'm literally never doing that with the expectation of a response. I'm not doing it with the expectation of anything back in return. I'm just like, hey, that sucks. I'm so sorry. Like whatever. Right. But the thing about social climbing, the worst, the ugliest side of it is when all you do is social climb, because you can clearly see what happens when that's what you do. When all you do is have, like, you might have your in real life friendships, but here's the thing about real life friendships that a lot of us don't really talk about a lot when it comes to doing this job, is that like your real life friendships, this is a weird job to talk about. It's literally not like something that other people have. Like I've done many jobs. If I was hanging out with somebody who did apartment leasing, we would have difficulty talking about our jobs with each other. Like, because I don't have coworkers in the sense that they have coworkers. Like I do. Emily is a coworker, right? But I don't have it in the sense that they have coworkers. When talking about things going like shitty on the platform, if anything's going wrong, like there's a lot of this, I would actually have to go into detail about how YouTube works before we could have conversation. And I don't want to do that. I'm like, that's a lot of work. Like to look at my friend and be like, okay, so no, like it is views, but it's like, it's also CPM, which is like this other thing. So, okay. So affiliate links are work. Okay. So here's how I would just be like, never mind.
This is why I'm thankful for my weird creative friends, because like, my two, like Jen and Sarah are like, they were my like Brooklyn pod. Like Jen has worked in tech, gaming, music, food, like does fucking everything. And I think has actually worked for YouTube for a short time. And my friend Sarah like is more in journalism, but also works for a very savvy company and has to know a lot of things. Not to swear her employer. I almost did, and then I was like, no, let's not do that. I mean, it's public, but not public. But anyway, so like I feel very thankful for that. But at the same time, it's really important to have these people that are directly in your space. And it's also like, again, I just think about how like when you have actual friends, you also have this network where you can be talked out of doing things where social climbers might be in your corner, where
Correct.
you're like, somebody keeps coming to me and asking me for this kind of video, or what do I do about, like, how do I, like, should I take the chance? Like, should I? And then, your friends will be like, let's play the pros and cons, or like, or, oh, no, like, so I feel like, that's one of those things where, like, it's really important because they're a vibe check for you. And I know not everyone's into the word vibe, but I like it.
We're going to vibe all day. Listen, I'm old and I'm going to use vibe until I'm going to use vibe until it makes young people uncomfortable.
Yes. I love the word. It just fits in so many moments where I'm like, it's the vibe. And so collab. I don't know.
I'm going to think about it. We'll answer that before we leave.
Okay.
But that's why I popped it up there for like we're going to try to do it like a end of live question that we'll try to answer. But but yeah, I mean, because the thing is, if you don't have people in this sphere who are your actual friends, like we mentioned earlier, I'm not going to lie. Listen, if we're just business associates and you step off in it, like, bye, deuces.
Done.
Like, I'm out. Like, I'm not. I'm gonna be like, that sucks for you, but like, oh, we were just business associates.
Yeah,
I'm not here to like give you emotional labor because I don't have space for you. I have a lot of emotional labor for those who are very, very close to me. I love them dearly. I would do a lot of things for my friends, allegedly including Marie. But still, the thing is, I would do a lot of things for my friends, but if we're just business associates, like, I'm not going to do all that. And that's the problem with the social climb, is like, you social climb trying your fake friend bullshit. But like, I know that you're being a fake friend. I know that you're not my friend. I'm fully aware because I know how my friends act, and you are not acting in any way like a friend. You disappear for months at a time and then show up and be like, oh, hey girl, how you doing? And I'm like, no, I can't.
I don't want you portraying to the internet that we are friends.
Thank you. We're not friends.
I don't like that, because Allie and a couple people said it earlier, and I agree, to me, that is what made it messed up.
Feel better.
It's like, when somebody messes up badly, like all of the isms-ish things,
the icks and the isms,
and then you're like, and then and then the internet is seeing, oh, none of their friends are like supporting them, they all left them behind, they did this, that. I'm like, because they weren't friends.
Correct.
That's the thing. But because they portrayed this friendship, or people, they kind of portray, like, I think in like the Dramageddons of the world, I think they kind of manipulated it to sell more things, to get more followers. But at the same time, I'm older, so I kind of saw through a lot of that shit. But like, then people are like, oh, well, I guess you're just, not supporting people. Tina, hello.
Hi. Speaking of friends, that's a friend.
Oh my gosh, I'm just thinking, like, I know Tina's a friend.
Me and Tina will swap tea back and forth. It's so funny. I just go over there and like, I'll send Tina random like messages and just be like, girl, did you see this shit? And Tina be like, and we just sit there and kiki, and it's a good time. I like that. But like,
this is why you need the friends also, because like, sometimes they'll notice somebody else doing something and you're like, oh, I was thinking about collaborating with them, but like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, because I mean, the end result is, yes, can you get further social climbing? Yes, you can, obviously. Yes. But everybody that for the majority of the people that I collab with, I am actually friends with almost everybody that I collab with. Like, yes, I said, there's people that I talk to every day. I send certain people like weird train polos. Because I get excited about the train when I'm walking Bo in the morning. Like, the train sometimes comes by, and so I'm like
celebrating Tina got to filming, because I know that struggle
of
not get in front of the camera. But yeah, wait, there was like one other. Oh, I lost my speaking of trains, I lost my train of thought. That was
I mean, there's people that I'm genuinely friends with and I talk to, and we Marco Polo and all of that good ish. And then there's people that like they were a season.
Yeah.
And that
totally
season went away.
For
and I stopped wearing those clothes.
Life. Also, not just people, not just like social media people, like any of your friends, any people, you can move forward and away from them. But also, I think the thing is that like somebody, like there was questions in the comments about like how do you reach out to people, or how do you I think the most important thing is that I personally think don't try to be fake friends with them. You can be kind, you can be, but like if your goal is trying to collab, make that like the first DM, like put it in the first, like, because I know a lot of people will be like, oh, I love you. And then they'll try to do this whole conversation thing. And then a couple of messages in and they're just like, oh, what about, like, I think you can be like, hey, so-and-so, I really like your channel. I watch your videos. I had this idea for a video. And I think having an idea that's relevant to their channel and their content and yours, and just going into it. And then if they say no, they say no, but you're not buttering them up so much where they feel like you're trying to like get into
manipulate them. That's the word you used yesterday.
Yes. You're not trying to manipulate it. But then also, if they're new to who you are, it's enough kindness, enough like pleasantries to some capacity that if they're interested, they might at least do that first look at your channel or think about the idea and be like, you know what, that's a great idea. Let's go for it.
Because like Beauty Jax was saying, you can feel the lack of authenticity with social climbing collabs versus friend collabs. Yes. And here's the funny thing about this, that when Emily and I were talking about this offline, one of the things that we talked about with social climbing was how, especially, and I have to throw it back to the Dramageddon situation because that was like one of the bigger ones.
It's a great example.
But that's one where, I learned because of that, right? You could actually, because for a while you didn't know what it was when people collabed. You weren't sure what that feeling was. You couldn't quite put your finger on it, but there was something about it where you're like, eh. And the thing is, when you see them with someone that they are friends with, it is just different energy. So like if you see Manny with Laura Lee, that is completely different energy than you can even go all the way back there and look at that. It is completely different energy. You have friend energy with like, I'm networking, social climbing energy, which is like different things. You can clearly see who like were actually friends and are still friends to this day. And then you can see how like one was just more of a business relationship. You get photographed together, all of this stuff. And you can, if you see creators who collab in person, dude, you're going to end up coughing again. I just need you to stop licking yourself so vigorously. But you can clearly see what happens is like Emily and I, you see our dynamic, you see that we're friends, right?
Yeah.
You can also see that like maybe I'm collabing with somebody that I don't know all that well yet. They're doing one of my Fresh Face sessions, which is coming back in September. But yay, fall. Yay. It's a seasonal show. So I'm like, so, but you can see the difference between like someone I know and someone I'm like getting to know. And then you can see me with friends, right? So you can tell the difference. The longer you know a creator, the more that you see them doing shit, like that's the more that you realize like who they fucks with, like in this chat right now, you can see some of the people that I fucks with, some of the people I talk to, some of the people I hang out with, some of the people I do live streams with, and I don't have any problems with it. I did have a hard time awkwardly trying to approach T to do anything, but like I'm better now. We're friends and I'm okay. Like now I can ask for things, but like before I would just sit over there like a dumb lump on a like log, just being like.
That's the other thing. When you have friends in the space, you can go to your friend and be like, Audra, I really want to collaborate with this other person. And I think I have an idea, but like, what do you think? Especially if they watch that person too, they can, not everyone's your friend. But like, I also love that. Thank you.
There's There's a lot of love tonight. I'm so surprised. Like we're talking about social collab and there's all this love. And like, ooh.
And this is why, again, having like friends and acquaintances that you actually enjoy spending time with or talking to is so important. Like, but like I think about that where I'm like, I can also lean on my friends within the community to be like, I want to approach this person, but like, I know I'm not really friends with them. How do I do it? What's my spin? What's my take? Like not spin, but like, how do I do it where I'm not trying to manipulate, but I'm also like honest? Like, it's just nice to have support and also other perspectives of people that are also doing this thing.
Yeah. If people knew how hard my ASD ass works to like construct emails in like regular language
are like
it's so hard thing. Like because I just want to ask the question, I just want to do the thing, but I know that is not that's not how neurotypicals do things. So if I just message you being like, can I have this thing, people are gonna get mad. So I have to like work so hard. It's so difficult.
Okay, but also I don't think a lot of YouTubers are neurotypical.
You're correct.
I don't think a lot of people that are in like our community are neurotypical, which is why I'm like, I think you could just say it like it is.
Yeah. I mean, I got better at it, you know, after I good morrowed Abby. I learned.
And look at how iconic good morrow is now.
I know, right?
Freaking intro.
Oh, wow. I forgot her. So sorry. I have a movie on in the background. It's The In Crowd. And I did not realize, because I used to have a crush on this actress because she had brown hair and like green eyes. And like, I didn't realize you see her movies.
It does not attract the normies. Okay.
It does
we
not.
are not normal people. And I'm going to be honest, if you're a normie, I'm probably not watching your channel or inspired or desiring to be friendly or collaborative with you. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever sat there and been like, wow, you're super normal. We should not hang out. That I will stress you out. I'm very stressful for you.
Like, I don't watch. When I used to watch people that read normal to me, I was like, why am I watching? Why am I watching? What am I here? Like, I don't belong here. They're gonna know I'm here and they're gonna kick me out, so I should just go. Like, that's what it felt like. Where I was like, they're gonna find me, they're gonna know I'm watching, and they're gonna be like, what are you doing here? Get out.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like people want to put a specifically negative connotation on social climbing. And I'm definitely going to say that there are going to be positives as long as you're coming correct people with like, be honest. Like Emily said, be honest about what you want. If you want to approach someone because you want to do a collab, then approach them and do the collab. You don't have to like do all this fake friend bullshit. Because a lot of people like you do all that mess and it's more annoying for them. And then they don't want to collab with you again. That's the thing is like a lot of people do not want to collab with you again after you try to pretend to be their friend. Because the thing is, when you're pretending to be somebody's friend, you're not actually their friend. So guess what? You ghost them for whatever after the collab is done, whatever. Like you say like, oh, thanks for the collab or whatever. And then you go because like you're not friends.
Because there's no rapport. There's no like back and forth conversation after it happens. So it's just the convo just ends. Yeah. And then it's like.
And then it's just over. You're like, thanks for the collab. And you're like, oh, no problem. And then you're like gone. But then when you want to collab again, you now have to like come in with that weird friend bullshit. Yeah. Whereas if you just set it up as business from the jump, you don't have to do that weird stuff anymore. And then if you start to become friends over time, great. If you don't, and it's just business all the way, then that's fine too. You don't have to feel weird about having a business relationship with other people on this platform. It's weird for you to think that you are going to be friends with anybody. Like sometimes you are. I've been really lucky. Let me just say that. I've been really lucky.
Same. Like the weird people, but like people that I have become friends with over even before I was making videos. And then once I started, like I am shocked. And also I feel really lucky. And like, I'm like, okay, this is possible. So yeah. It's really nice.
Atlanta banana. At that point, the collab feels like small talk, and my neurodivergent self cannot pull that. I cannot. That's the thing that bothers me. Is I feel like I'm having such difficulty trying there's a lot of lesbian action happening on this movie. I'm so sorry. I forgot that happened in this movie. It's called The In Crowd. It's on Prime. If you were wondering, like I was,
I'm like,
you're welcome. We're an hour and 4 in. Because the woman, like, oh, okay. Anyways, I had to put.
Anyway, keep yourself monetized.
Yes. So, the whole point is that I am not good at small talk. I have difficulties with it. It's one of the reasons why, like, I dating is another difficult thing, because I'm just like, can we just say things that are important instead of, what do you do? I do this thing. I just want to be like, do you make enough money in which you can live off of and not move into my apartment? If
Audra,
yes, then continue with the date. If no, goodbye.
I'm asexual and aromantic. Fuck that noise. But like, I just think it's such a, like, it's so nice also to talk about this, because I think that sometimes, like, the viewers can also promote this feeling of like, and I'm not blaming anyone ever, because most of it's up to the people that are making the videos. But I think that it's nice to like say to our subscribers and viewers, like, hey, we're going to have business, collaborations on our channel, possibly. And like, if it feels weird, obviously you can give constructive criticism. Whether or not we listen is a different story, but it might happen. So yeah.
It's like, that's why I started YouTube. I mean, aside from when I knew I was doing YouTube, that's why I started it. I have to always preface it with, when I knew I was doing YouTube, that's why I started it. Because, like, listen, one day we'll go back and look at that shit. Like these random Instagram videos. It's so weird. But yeah, I mean,
this is actually a great advice too. Like, I like that. Like, hey, can I ask you a question? Because then I'm opening the door, but I'm not bombarding them with the information right away. So
because like that. There's literally nothing wrong with you wanting growth of your channel and all of that good stuff. But I'm always going to be a person who says, like, you want to make sure though that like that the kind of growth that you're getting is commensurate with like your views, because you don't want your views to tank. You do not want to get to, 15, 20, 30, 40,000 subscribers and you can't, hit like a good percentage. Like you can't hit like a 10% mark. Like you're just having a very difficult time doing that.
In case you don't know, and I don't know where this is said exactly, but it's information that I've just kind of stuck with. It's that if you get 10% of your subscribers, that number in views in the first 24 hours or so of your video, or I guess maybe not, I don't know if the time matters, but that's like success. That's success. It's a successful upload. Because I wanted to say that because not everyone that knows that. So that's why we're saying like, so like if you have 20K subscribers and you're getting 1,000 views, you're not hitting that point.
No.
You're halfway there.
And you're not getting engagement. So you kind of need both of the things. Like if you don't hit in the views, you at least need to have the engagement, right? Because like one of those things will help to keep push you forward. Comments. So one of those things will help keep pushing that content forward, right? And so that's the thing. If you don't engage as much in your comments, or you don't have a lot of people commenting, plus you're not getting the viewership because you social climbed your way there, you're not actually friends with the persons or persons that you have social climbed with. And so you've gotten the subscribers, but they're not watching. You didn't do what you needed to do, whatever it was to hook them in. Maybe they just were like, well, so-and-so kept talking about it. I came over and like now I don't like it. So like you're here and you're subscribed. So you're still not getting the viewership. At some point you have to realize that like, okay, I might need to reevaluate the way that I social climb.
Yeah.
Like I don't need you to pretend
that
different.
I'm putting out right now at this time.
Because might need to reevaluate my content.
Because I also think what happens sometimes is that the times that you social climb, those are the really good video ideas. Those are the really good ideas. And Shannon,
That's why I almost died.
Yes. And so sometimes those are the really, really like solid ideas. That's the video that you're like, oh, I'm so excited for this. But and it also might be a video where you're showing a different side of yourself that you don't regularly show. I'm excited for your rant, T. So like I also think that that's something that happens, is that we show like the very best of ourselves in these videos that we think are going to like be an opportunity for growth. And like the very best might not be who we actually are. And so then when people go to watch other videos from you, it's like, wait, but who are they? Like,
I know. What do they do?
So like you also want to be your sincere YouTube self when you do these social climbing collaborations. Like the climbing is fine, but if you're not actually who you really are, it's not going to do anything, because people are going to subscribe and then find out, oh. And like I've sincerely saw that with New Makeup Nonsense Bingo. People see one side of me in those videos, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, I'm here from Teresa." Blah, 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 blah. And then the same people 3 weeks later, when I'm posting one of my talking get ready with me, is like, oh, "You're so annoying. Shut up." And I'm just like, "That's fine. You saw one side of me, and now you're seeing another side, and you don't like it. Bye." Like, but I see that happen. And I think when you do that in these like videos that you're really investing a lot into, it's not always the right investment.
Yeah. And I would definitely say this. Let's say you get a collab and you're really excited about it. Like Emily was talking about, you really need to plan what your next piece of content is going to be after that collab. Yeah. You want it to be a banger. All right. Like it is an introduction to you and what you do on your channel. And by banger, I mean it's a banger for you. It's you showing off you. You're like, this me, right? Yeah. Because if you do that, then the people who came over to check out, and maybe they subscribed, maybe they didn't, but maybe they weren't going to subscribe, but then they saw that video, the next video that you dropped, and they're like, oh, they fine, I liked it. And then they stay, right? And other people who weren't going to subscribe, but like they came over to check out, your collab, and they're like, oh, I'll just like see what else they have on their channel or whatever. Like some people will binge other stuff on your channel and that will make them subscribe. Some of them will like wait and see what the next thing that you have come out. They'll check that out. And then they'll be like, yeah. And that's why I would say like, as long as you're being upfront and honest, I don't think that there's anything wrong with social climbing. I'm always going to stand by of all the things, but I will always stand by that. Like, it was weird as shit that we got mad as a whole at Manny specifically for the social climbing thing. Like we weren't all doing that. Like everybody doesn't network. It was such a weird hill for us to make him die on.
There was honestly a lot of other things you could criticize the person for. Like
there were other hills.
Yeah, there are like all these other hills that were taller and bigger, and yet people were picking the social climbing hill to die on. So like, I think that it's a very gatekeepy kind of phrase that is used. And I think people just throw the word around without really understanding what it means or why it's being used. Yeah. And I also agree that the whole collaborating to grow is not as useful now as it used to be. Correct. I think it can be. It totally can be, but it's not the way people used to think about collaboration. That doesn't work that same way anymore. No. So
it used to skyrocket people. It really did. Like, I don't think people realize how this used to, because literally back in my day when YouTube first started, and YouTube, if you had 10,000 subscribers and you did a collab with someone who had 250,000 subscribers, at the end of that, you now had 50,000 subscribers. It was pretty good growth, and then you could immediately find somebody else to collab with, and before you knew it, you had 150,000 subscribers. Back in my day, social climbing was very helpful. I gotta go change my girdle. I don't know why I'm like that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I'm like this.
No apologies, bitch. I love it. But yeah, it doesn't work like it used to. And that's why it's like, I think that there is a way to do it. Use it as a business tool, get growth with it, but don't think about it as like putting all of your eggs in one basket, because you're not going to get the payoff that you expect. This part, don't apologize for being yourself.
I always feel like, I'm sorry I'm like this. But like, also, no, I'm not. But yeah, I mean, like T and many of us have been saying, it is really good for you to like, everybody that I've reached out to and done collabs with are people that I genuinely wanted to work with. They're people that I wanted to have conversations with. It's one of the reasons that I absolutely enjoy doing the Fresh Face Sesh, because it like completely brings down stress of a collab, because it's just like two people chilling and talking live, enjoying ourselves, whatnot. And so it takes a lot of the pressure off. We don't have to film videos and have them up on the same day and like link each other's video. It's just like, I'm going to link your channel and like, we're going to have a good time. It's going to be fun. And it's going to be chill. It's something that I enjoyed. And one of the reasons I set that up wasn't just because I got upset about people talking shit about like, oh, y'all don't like DC without your makeup on, but also because I wanted a space where I could get to meet other creators without it being weird. Like, I didn't want it to be some weird ass shit where I felt like I had to like do weird things to like talk to because
oh, thank you, Ruby. To adjust your girdle. But yes, I love that T is like summarizing and adding in. So like, I appreciate this. So I was just gonna say, like, yes. Yeah, I think in the long run, it can theoretically be something that it's not the investment you think it is.
T, we watching Deep Blue Sea tomorrow. I think I have it. I'm going to get it all set up. It's going to be late as per usual, but.
And then T's Patreon has movie night Saturday.
Yes, that's what we're doing a double feature, but like it's a Friday and a Saturday.
It's back to back.
It's big to big. I
don't know if that works, but yeah, like there's all of these ways that social climbing can be used in like healthy, helpful ways. And we don't have to look down on it, but we also don't have to think of it as this like magic fix for all of our growth problems.
And that's exactly what I would say over and over and over and over again. The number one thing I would say is make sure that you are doing collabs with people that you like and respect. And has your vibe, because if they're people that have your vibe, the chances of you losing those subscribers that showed up are fairly slim. You know, if you're like, no, this is not me being mean to anybody, but why would I ever do a collab with a creator that was, you know, in the like Tati line of things?
Yeah.
We are not.
Or like, I think of the energy of like and this is without any of the other criminal effects, but the energy of the James Charles is that kind of like, that's not my energy. That's not my vibe. That's not my style. So even if the opportunity was there, I don't, no.
Yeah, like that, like kind of like, hello, I can't, like, I would just be like, can you stop moving? That's a lot.
Like the makeup artisty, really intense, like people that are doing very like things like that. Like, I understand what my style is, and I will collaborate with people that have different styles than me in terms of makeup.
Yeah.
But there's like a level. It's yes, like Fefi said, it's collaboration. I think that's the thing.
Yes.
You have to think about the two of you theoretically kind of coming together and working together. And even though you're not actually working together with the way the videos happen, but that's what it should feel like.
Yeah, it should. Yeah, like at the end of the day, it can be a business arrangement that can turn into friendships. And I would recommend that you try to have more of the friendship type, because at least with friendships, you can be honest with each other. You can be like, hey, we need to do this or this. And you can kind of, also with a friend, you have more abilities. Like if something comes up, you can move things around. But also when you're approaching someone for the first time, you don't have to come with flattery and flowers. You can quite literally just ask for what you want. The worst that they know, if they say no, it's a no, move on. But like social climbing, they use these words to make us feel bad because it's literally networking, but they just decided to call it something negative to make us poor people feel bad. And so I'm like, no. Playing that so
Yes.
if you do, I think I just messaged him today and I was like, he has like hand movements that are so like delicate, like when he's doing his face, and I wash my face like a monster. I'm like, whoa.
I'm sorry, excuse you. The nighttime routine that you posted within the last year was like, when I watched you do that, I was like, I'm a monster. Oh my gosh. I feel like social climbing is going to be one of those topics that we have to talk about more because people have.
Are you talking about Tiffany Ferg? Like you said T Ferg, so. And I said Tiffany Ferg. Because I like Tiffany Ferg. I haven't watched their I thought it was Tiffany Ferg.
Is it Tiffany Ferg? Okay.
I think it's just Ferg.
I haven't watched in a really
long time.
Yeah.
But I feel something happened to where I don't know what it was. I think it's because she recommended some other folks to watch, and then I was watching them.
Also, actually, that is one of my favorite things. But this is a different conversation in a way, but like giving credit, but also at the same time shouting out people. Like just being able to say, like, oh, I saw Audra do this style video, I'm gonna do it. I saw T do this. Like, yeah, will I tag them in the like sometimes I'll tag them in the description box if it's relevant or whatever. Oh, it is Tiffany Ferg. Okay. I really like doing that too, because also it's not a friendship setup thing, but it is like a track record. So if I like reference someone as inspiration and then I go to them in the future for a collab idea, it's not coming out of thin air because I've legitimately been inspired.
Yeah. Like that's another thing is like shout people out.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like that weird hurricane weather is coming this way and I'm not excited about it. There's another hurricane coming.
It's been raining all day today here.
Yeah. So. I think it's supposed to be hitting here. So like Bethany, I will give you the deets on I can't give deets on the eye look yet because it's not out yet. But like, it's not like the makeup is out, but the video is not. So
I feel like Bethany might already even have that palette.
Yeah.
If it is what I think it
is. Probably. Anywho's we're gonna go because first of all, I know like it's an hour 22. Bo Bear is comfortably ensconced on his pillow. Once again, I don't make that dog sleep comfortably. He just does. And so
sorry, you are his parent. He knows how to live his best life.
He really does.
He has learned from the best.
Yeah, if you go to my Instagram stories, you'll get to see him eat the last 2 bites of the omelet, which he always gets. Angie, gotcha. Thank you for catching us. All right. I have a few different dream collabs. I feel like they're almost all indie brands. But you know what? Now I'd also like to I think I'd like to do a collab with Beauty Bay at some point. Obviously, Drench Cosmetics. I would probably like Midas. I would like to do something with them. And then
perfect timing. Speaking of Drench, I wasn't sure if that question was about makeup or about like video collab, but I prefer the makeup question. So
yes. I'm taking a makeup because I'm like, but if it was videos.
How about 3? Wait. Did you say 3?
I did.
Beauty Bay, Drench, and Midas. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, but did you have another thing? I cut you off.
No, I was gonna say do makeup and then also do like people that we would want to collab with.
So I would say 3 for me would probably be Lethal, especially because they have face and eye.
Okay.
Like blushes and highlights and eyes. Drench and Cleona.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'd like to do like with the, I think I just want like a singles bundle with like 3 new shades from like from Adapt, Divina, Terra Moons, Cleona. Like I would like bundles.
That's been like one of my dream, like if I ever wanted to start a business, which I don't, I have an idea, but it's a lot. Hey Mo.
And
Thank
then
you.
Creators on the platform. I have to choose because I'm gonna have to choose people that I haven't collab with. Like dream collabs. I like my brain's like going all the way back. It's like,
I know. I'm like,
I'm about to see up in my nostrils. Because I was like, oh wait, I've done the thing with Robert.
I would say Hannah Louise Poston because of all of her delicious overhead single eyeshadow swatchy videos. I feel like we could do something cool with that.
Lauren May Beauty. I would do something with Lauren May Beauty. I haven't done anything with her yet, and I think that she's fabulous, and she could teach me how to be a fairy princess, even though I'm the queen of the dark.
Y'all should do
destruction
a video.
Destruction.
Wait, creators. I'm bad at who else?
Ooh, Beauty and the Frizz.
Oh, Kara's so good.
Boom.
Kara. Why can't I think of anybody? I'm like, can't I think of anybody? I'm bad at this. There's so many people I watch. What is wrong with me right now? Hold on.
I've already
you named 2 or 3.
I named 2 right now, and I have I know I always have to go back and look at my my subscription list because my goofy ass just forgets.
Yes.
Excuse me.
I would be down. I've said this actually to Alicia before. I'm like, one of these days there's going to be a Pat McGrath palette that I buy, and I want to somehow do a collaboration with Alicia Kiki Sweat, because I just love Alicia's energy, basically. Like, just, I don't know, just good people.
I know, she has really good energy.
I'm trying to think of a third.
Well, here's the thing. So this isn't a beauty person.
Of course, but that's great.
But I would love to read a story. I feel so lame. Well, I know it's fine. On Southern Cannibal channel.
Oh, awesome. I love that. That's not
I would love to read a story on their channel.
Oh, you know who I just saw in my subscription box that would be a random amazing one? Kimberly Clark.
Oh.
Because I don't know. I don't know what we would collab on, but they're also a delight. I love all of that. But yeah, there's so many creators that I could pick, and I'm just like, I don't know.
I Marco Polo'd her, and I was like, hey, so I'm making this video, and I just want you to know that I'm not talking shit about you. Thank you, but bye. Because it was the luxury video, is luxury beauty, the downfall, and I was like, I'm not talking shit about you. I even made sure to say that I'm not talking shit about you. Have a good day.
No, but, I have no qualms with luxury beauty creators, people that want to talk about luxury makeup. It is what it is. Or I should say, I currently have no qualms on them. Yes. Oh wait, yes. Cora Diane, formerly Vintage Tacky. I don't know if they're doing content really anymore, but that would also be amazing. Yes. Anyway, now it's been almost an hour and a half. And this is fun though. That's a good question, because I feel like it could always change.
I know. Also, my legs are still out. Everyone. I just want you to know I'm very excited. I still have my legs out, but I don't show my feet for free. And
I am so excited for you.
I'm still having a good time. I look down. I'm like, look at you, legs. You're doing the most. Don't look at them too long or things will go wrong. But it's been nice. I'm wearing shorts. Shorts. You're welcome. And with that, thank all of you for being here.
Body image issues of the evolution of how we think about our body.
I know. Like, thank you all for being here. It was so fun to talk to all of you. This is one of my favorite things. Just a side note that a lot more of my makeup content, and I've said this before, but like real talk, a lot more of it might be live. There'll be definitely like my demos and try-ons will still be filmed content, but a lot of like talking about products is more than likely to be live because one, I actually fully enjoy the interaction that we get to have. I get to answer questions in live time as opposed to trying to like answer comments. And as I am working now, I'm a working person. I'm worried that I won't be able to answer as many comments. So I'd much rather like pop on and do some live. So that's a thing. And then that's it. Like I think I have the Care Bears palette video is coming, I believe Saturday. Saturday is when that's going to drop. So be prepared for that. Patrons, members, tomorrow we're doing movie night, Deep Blue Sea. And
there.
Yes. Yeah. Also, Emily, your patrons are invited as well.
I will share it out.
All right.
And I'm still recovering, I feel like, from Hurricane Grace in terms of videos and things, but I hopefully will have something up Saturday or Sunday at this point. We shall see.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you very much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this. If you would, please do me a favor, give this video a big thumbs up. So then that way the algorithm goddess can do what she does best, which is push me further down into the algorithm so that I can do whatever the fuck I want. All right. Until next time. It costs $0 to be kind. It's so good for your soul. Honestly, like being kind is good for your soul. Like you don't have to get stepped on. Just be kind. Because I don't want to snatch your soul. My time of the year is coming and I get extra snatchy because now it's almost getting time for me to swallow all the souls. So like that's going to be a pretty big undertaking so that I can make room for more. So yeah. XOXO. Got it, girl.